there, welcome to another episode of Super Admins Hangouts. This is where we inspire you with stories of super admins and provide you with career and productivity tips, tools, and tricks that will help you thrive and excel in your career. My name is Becca and I'm your Hangout host. Super Admins Hangout is powered by Office Habit Training and Consulting Limited and supported by the network of administrative professionals of Ghana. Today, I'm super excited to be hanging out with Doreen all the way from Ghana. Before I invite Doreen to the virtual podium, allow me to read to you her bio. Doreen is a Ugandan-based virtual assistant and an online business operations officer who supports small to medium-sized businesses, what we usually refer to as SMEs, with digital marketing, content management, and technology. She also offers one-on-one coaching for people who want to venture into the virtual assisting business. So if you are interested in becoming a virtual assistant, you know who to reach out to. She is passionate about mental health, maternal health, content creation, and motherhood. In fact, these are her driving forces as a mother of 3 and a huge supporter of women empowerment. Wow, what a powerhouse you are, Doreen. Doreen, if you are there, kindly come on screen and let's begin the conversation. Hello, Doreen. Are you there?
Yes, Rebecca, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Doreen. Thank you so much for making the time to join this conversation. How are you doing too?
I'm doing fine. And yourself? How's Ghana?
Ghana is doing very well. In fact, it rained this morning, and so I'm enjoying the weather. How about Uganda?
Uganda is fine. The weather is awesome. Everything is fine over here.
Yeah, and then the COVID situation, how is it going out there?
Sorry?
The COVID situation, how is it going out there?
We actually have gotten used to now living with it. We are, of course, taking the precautions that we can, but also just getting used to the effects of also the economy and everything being priced so high. So yeah, we're trying our best and we hope that things will get better with time. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Are people still wearing their masks in public places or have they stopped?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes some do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same here too. Recently they just made it voluntary. If you want to watch wear the mask, fine, but if you don't, it's okay. So I don't know how you're going to survive with that, but we are hoping for the best. Anyway, thank you once again, Doreen, for joining me. So Doreen is joining me all the way from Uganda, and that is so awesome. Doreen, let's just jump right into it. So tell us about how you started your career and where you find yourself now.
Okay, so I started my career around 6-7 years ago, working as a digital marketer for a startup. Basically, I was doing, I would say, general marketing and networking, different roles, which, when you work for a startup, you have to be flexible. So the roles are pretty fluid. You go from marketing to a bit of this, a bit of that. So I did that. Then I decided to homeschool my children. So I stopped working and homeschooled them for a bit. And then at some point I decided to go back to the 9-to-5, which I went back. Then after the birth of my 3rd child, I decided that I needed something flexible to be able to take care of her, give her the time that she needed, breastfeeding, all that jazz, and still earn some money. So that's how my career started. I had a Kenyan friend who, shout out to Olivia, she's the one who introduced me to online businesses and systems and all this. So she gave me an opportunity and she mentored me to it wasn't I knew about virtual assistant, but I didn't know what it was all about. And I read about it and I asked her, can I be your virtual assistant? And she asked me, all right, I have all these systems, you can be my business support, So that's how I started. Currently, I have specialized now. I am doing more of digital marketing and online business systems. So I also like learning. So I'm also learning some UI UX design. I share about that sometimes. I think the tech industry is the direction that I might be going to. So yeah, that's it so far, and I'm loving it.
You started as a marketer. What exactly were you marketing?
It was a startup company for an IT company. So they were selling websites, CRMs. A CRM is like a customer relationship management system. So it was basically an IT company.
Okay.
Yeah. Digital solution for small to medium-sized businesses. Yeah.
Awesome. And what was the motivation to start homeschooling your children?
The motivation for me was the children themselves. I found that when I took them to school, they were not flourishing as much as I would like. And so I decided that instead of fighting in the morning because people don't want to wake up, go to school, and they were really young, 2-3 hours a day was enough for me to, we play a bit, then we read a bit. When there are many kids, for the teachers, the kids just need to follow the program. Whether the kids are getting anything or not is not, so they were not enjoying school. So that's why I decided, let me give them a chance to play around and bounce about. I can squeeze in some 20 minutes here and there. We do the ABCs reading. So that's the main reason why I chose this. And I also got a lot of encouragement from other mothers who are already doing it, and the kids were flourishing in it. At the end of the day, it's about what's best for your children. Yeah, so I'm all for children going to school, homeschooling, whatever works for them.
That's very interesting. So in Uganda, is it something popular for people to homeschool their children?
It's not popular, but after the pandemic, it actually became a bit more popular. I did that before, so it wasn't that popular, but there was a group of parents who were already doing it. So there was a community, although where I was living, there was no community. So I decided to also form a community. And I partnered with another Kenyan friend, and we made a community where we would meet, exchange ideas, have our kids socialize and all that. Yeah, they say when you don't get something where you are, you create it. So that's what I did.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree more. So are you presently homeschooling the children, or they've gone back to school?
No, currently they've gone back to school because as they grow older, their educational needs also grow. And they need somebody who is professionally trained. Of course, as a mother, you can also do it, or you can hire a teacher and all that. But for me, I decided that they would go to school now. I had already given them a really good foundation. They knew how to read, they knew how to write, they knew how, they had social skills, emotional development, physical. I used to take them to gymnastics and all this. So I knew that even when they go to school, they will flourish. So yeah.
That's great. I can't imagine myself.
Situations change. Family situations change. You must be flexible. Maybe at this point you don't need to work, then at this point you need to work, So yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, and I think you've done a great job. I can't imagine myself homeschooling my children. They will drive me nuts. So kudos for that. Anyway. All right. Okay, so let's continue our conversation. So Share with us, how has your experience been being a virtual assistant and then homeschooling your children at the same time?
At the point when I started, I was not homeschooling, but I did have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So it was challenging working from home and having a baby at the same time. But then I am privileged and I am lucky that I could have a house help, someone who could take care of the child while I did, work here and there. So the experience has been, okay for me. The father of the children was also providing, so there wasn't that much pressure for me to, there wasn't so much stress involved, and I had the time to grow without so much pressure. So I think it has been a really interesting journey with its own challenges, but I am glad because I have learned a lot and I have grown as a person and also career-wise. Yeah.
That is awesome. Now, what do you find most challenging about the virtual assistant business?
What I find challenging is prospecting for clients and getting people who can pay you for the value that you offer, especially in a market like Uganda. But because you are a virtual assistant, you have to look beyond the borders and find people who can pay you for the value that you bring to the table. So because maybe people here in Uganda, where I am at, do not really understand or are still, getting into online business and all that, it's a challenge to, get paid for the value that you bring. So it means that you must look outside. And when you look outside, that means you must deal with the competition. There are virtual assistants from America, from, everywhere, Canada, Australia, and the clients are also from these same markets. So as somebody from Africa, you are having to prove yourself all the time and go through a lot of stereotypes and trying to convince people that you can actually do the job. So that is the challenge that I find most. But once they see you can do the job, then they are able to give that chance or to collaborate with you in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think that challenge is actually only for Uganda. I think in Ghana here, we are also facing the same challenges. It's really difficult for people to understand the concept of virtual assistant and, as you said, to pay for the value that you bring. We are so used to the traditional way of working where, they're expecting you to be in the office and then you are home and then you are working and you still want to be paid like somebody who is working in an office. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When you started,
assistant, you assistant, so sometimes you must prove yourself, that you bring a lot more and, convince them what value you will bring to their business.
Yeah. So how long have you been working as a virtual assistant?
Now it's been 3 years. 3 years.
3 years. Okay. So
yes. But I define myself only as virtual assistant now. I started there, but now I do online business management and digital marketing. So as a virtual assistant, you can start that way, and then once you specialize, you can take another title, role, and brand yourself in a different way that may bring you more value. Yeah.
Awesome. So, during these 3 years, how, in terms of percentage, like in terms of your percentage of your clients, how much percentage do you have locally and then globally?
I would say locally it's to the least. For the local clients, I try to I try to offer them packages and in a project sense. So we do a project together, and then that's it. So the local clients, I would say, are fewer, than the international clients. And yeah, they're definitely a bit more demanding. They want to understand, okay, you know, what value are you bringing? But I try, because when you are somewhere, you must also be able to bring something to the community where you are. So you must serve your community. Sometimes it's not about the money, it's about also serving the community and the businesses that are in your country, because that's where you are. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what do you find exciting? What do you find exciting about the role?
Oh, Rebecca, the most exciting thing is, I think, you know, the interaction with many people. I find that I'm somebody who really enjoys interacting with different people. I'm interacting with you, you're in Ghana, you see, it's exciting. You know, talking to people who are in India, America, Switzerland, knowing more about them, their cultures, their livelihoods, families, what their challenges are, how they view life, how they view their, you know, the professional space. So I think that's the most interesting thing for me.
Wow.
And systems, you learn a whole lot of new things. Every time you get a new client, they are using some system you've never heard of or some platform you've never heard of. Like I remember, and there's a client who was using a social media platform called Hello Woofy. And it was so funny. I think it's a platform for dog lovers who have social, you know, it was so funny. Yeah, so I would never have known of such a platform if I had not been.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That sounds so interesting. That sounds so interesting. And I think in addition to, I mean, you get the opportunity to spend some time with your children in the house. Is that also? So that must also.
Exactly. Yeah, you get the flexibility to also be a mother, which is also a really big role.
Yeah.
The flexibility.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Yeah. Sometimes we take it for granted, but it's a full-time job actually.
Oh, 24/7, 365.
Yeah. You don't, no weekend off, no holidays, no upgrade.
No days. Yeah.
Oh wow. What kind of strategy do you use to acquire clients? As you were speaking, you mentioned that you have some local clients and some international clients, and I know it's one of the major challenges facing VAs. So how are you able to get your clients? Share with us your secrets.
Yes, this is a challenge that many freelancers face, not just VAs.
Yeah.
So you could have a really good product, but then you're not able to get clients. Or you could have a really good service and you're not able to get clients. So for me, I think the most important thing is usually to have a definition of who your ideal client is, go through their website, go through all their businesses, what they put out there, and then figure out what value you can bring to them. And then now craft your message to fit the type of clients that you want, as opposed to just having a service and saying, okay, now this is what I'm offering, take it. You know, when it comes to prospecting, my biggest source of clients has been referrals. Referrals are, you have clients and then they have a network, so you tap into their network, and through that you're able to get clients. So that means you must really be able to offer good services and to maintain a really good relationship so that you can be able to get these referrals. Another one would be LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a really important tool for professionals where you can craft your message, you can put out your personal, you can brand yourself. This is what I do, this is what I offer. So personal branding is really important. And LinkedIn is a really good tool for prospecting. So I would say LinkedIn, definitely, and referrals. Of course, there are other ways of getting clients like Facebook and Instagram and all that. Or especially when you're beginning, you just write a list of people in your circle, your friends, your family. You write a list and then you start contacting them one by one. At the beginning, you don't have much choice. It's okay to just take whatever comes by, and then as you continue growing your experience, growing your network, you can now come up with an ideal client and then say, okay, you've also at this point, this is what I'm really good at, this is what I like to do, this is how the market is. So these are all the things that I do and I find helpful for myself and also others. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's a very interesting strategies that you use. So what you are suggesting?
To run an online business, you need a couple of tools, and there are so many out there. It's actually good to look at, don't just listen to what Doreen likes, look at what works for my business, what works for my budget, what works for the services I'm offering. So for me, my favorite tool is Asana. Asana is a project management tool that helps you to organize your projects. You can put deadlines, you can put tasks on there, and then you can also involve the client in the project. You can comment under tasks, have subtasks. So it's a really helpful tool. Sorry for the bugs in the background. Yeah, but Asana is a really great tool, which I find helpful for organization and project management. Yeah.
So what other tools do you use aside Asana? I know that's your favorite, but what other tools and apps do you use?
So I use G Suite for emails, for storage, document sharing and storage. Every client has a folder and all document exchanges are done there. I also use Google Meet for meetings. I use the slides for presentation. So I think G Suite is a really good one and it's free. For my images, you need images for your social media and all that. I use Canva. Canva is a really great tool if you're not a designer and you just need something simple. It's a drag and drop tool. Although right now I'm going more into designing, so I am learning a bit more complicated tools like XD, Photoshop, and Figma. Figma is a tool for creating different designs, applications, websites, things like that, designing. So those are the ones I use. I also have a CRM, and I think my favorite is 17 Hertz because that's the one. Sometimes you're biased. That's the one I used first. So that's the one I like. And it helps you with automating your sales process, anything that makes your work easier. So it makes the time between when you prospect and when you close a bit shorter, and that should be your aim as a business owner. You want to not use so many resources to get leads. You want to qualify them and faster and close faster and start the project. So anything that makes that process easier, I think I always say you should always optimize from where the money starts. So when you're optimizing, you start optimizing from the sales and you make that process simpler before you start thinking of a fancy website and a fancy this and that. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my experience with tools so far.
Awesome. That's wonderful. So what advice will you give to somebody who wants to start a VA business or work as a VA?
My advice would be to look at the skills that you already have and start from there, because it's easier to start from there than to start from learning new things, you can start from there as you learn new things, but especially if you just want to start, do not overthink it. Start with the skills that you have, look at the market and see how you can craft your message, how you can craft your offers. So that's one thing that I would say. Another thing is mindset. Work on your mindset. If you've been employed before, you might need to make some mindset changes. You might need to work on being more proactive as opposed to passive and waiting for things to come to you. You now have to start, crafting a message and standing in front of a camera and seeing how you can communicate with people, how you can improve your communication, how you can talk about your services in a confident manner, and just think like someone who is an owner of a business and take that responsibility for growth on yourself. So that's the one thing. I think mindset is a really big thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Doreen. We've actually come to an end of this conversation. But we cannot leave without asking you about your YouTube channel. So for our viewers who don't know, Doreen actually has a YouTube channel. She's been curating for some time now, and I've been enjoying her videos. Actually, you should check it out. In fact, I'm going to put the link to her YouTube channel in the short notes of this video, and then I will encourage everyone to go and check out her videos on her channel. So, Doreen, to get us excited, tell us what motivated you to start your YouTube channel, and what are some of the topics you talk about on the channel?
So the channel right now, I talk about everything. My personal life challenges, I would say, are the ones which motivated me. I want to be able to reach out to the world. Because my job involves is a bit isolated, sitting down all day by yourself, no colleagues. You feel like you would like to pass a message across to the world and make a bigger impact. And that's why we do things like this, Rebecca, because when you learn something, there's always that itch of wanting to share with others, especially with women.
Yeah.
You want to teach them, oh, these are the mistakes I did when I was younger. Please, if you can avoid them. I want you to thrive. I want you to do better than I did. So my YouTube channel is about sharing those lessons in my personal life, in relationships, in marriages, and divorce, and kids, and all that. I also share a bit of my professional side on there, the things I do to just create value and create awareness, especially for African women, that we can be great. We are great. We have a lot. We don't have to shy away and keep our talents to ourselves. We need to reach out to people. We need to, start businesses and do all these great things and also take the opportunities that we have now for us to use. Yeah.
That's awesome. And it looks like if viewers, you want to know more about Doreen, I think you should check out her channel. You get to learn more and get to know her more. Yes. And
even subscribe.
Yes, and subscribe. Absolutely. Yeah. And subscribe to the channel so that anytime she uploads new videos, you'll be able to.
And if you subscribe to your channel too, I look at your channel as well. It has really great information. Guys, make sure you subscribe. Don't just watch and not subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So Doreen, if somebody wants to reach out to you, how can they do that?
I would say the easiest way is LinkedIn. I have a profile on there. If you look at Doreen Kainda, you will find me there.
Okay.
You can also reach out to me on my Facebook, Doreen Kainda on Facebook. And my website, I have a website, OBM Solutions, which maybe Becca will put below.
Okay.
But you can DM me anywhere or message me on LinkedIn, and I will be happy to share with you what I know, coach you, help you in whatever value you see that might speak to you. Yeah.
Awesome, Doreen. It's been such a great conversation. Thank you so much for all that you've
Thank
shared
you.
with us. And I believe a lot of people are going to learn from this conversation.
Thank
And
you.
we are
Yeah.
going to put some of the information that Doreen gave out in terms of her contact details, her website, and all that. We'll put it in the short notes so that you can easily reach out to her. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Doreen. Thank you so much for making the time to
Thank
join us.
you.
Yeah. So we'll speak
Thank
again soon. Bye.
you. Okay. Bye.